Meanwhile, mass protests continued across the United States for the 10th consecutive day over the killing of an unarmed black man, George Floyd, at the hands of a white police officer in the city of Minneapolis. A judge has now set a bail for about $1 million for the 3 former Minneapolis police officers charged with aiding in Floyd's murder. The bail amount could be lowered to about $750,000 if they agree to certain other conditions, including forfeiting any personal firearms. The 3 police officers could now face up to 40 years in prison if they are convicted. Meanwhile, Derek Chauvin, this particular individual you're looking on your screens, who was actually kneeling on Floyd's neck, has now been charged with second-degree murder and is due to be presented in court next week. But even with the police officers being charged, the protests have continued in all U.S. states. Now, on your screens are the visuals from 4 major U.S. cities: New York, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., and also Charlotte. Protesters were seen taking to the streets, calling for complete justice to be done, stating that just leveling of charges does not mean that there will be a conviction.
No justice! No peace! Justice, racism! We're living in a new age. In old times.
Meanwhile, health workers in New York City were also seen taking the knee in solidarity with the protesters in Black Lives Matter movement. But even as New York witnessed majorly peaceful protests, New York Police Department has been heavily criticized for their heavy-handedness in dealing with the protesters. Now, on your screens is one such video which shows the New York police repeatedly striking a cyclist with a baton at an intersection. Even though there was no violence, the police can in fact be seen coming out of nowhere to beat this bypasser up. The New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio was also booed at a vigil for Floyd for continuously defending the New York police's actions. Hundreds of mourners jeered over Bill de Blasio's brief remarks at Brooklyn service, who said that the NYPD has overall shown a lot of restraint. That is what the mayor claims. But in terms of the images that are coming out of New York, it can be seen that the police in times have been pretty heavy-handed.
Say his name! Say his name!
Meanwhile, in Iowa, protests turned violent as the police were seen firing tear gas on the protesters. Demonstrators were even seen holding their hands in the air and chanting, "Don't shoot," before the police, in fact, tear gassed them. The protesters were also tear-gassed in New Orleans after demonstrators tried to forcibly cross police lines to reach a Mississippi River bridge. But even with rampant police brutality across states, Nebraska city leaders and also police signed a new initiative called Hold Cops Accountable. And this, of course, will make it easier for residents to file formal complaints against police officers for any excesses at the time when they're deployed. Now, the representatives from both groups even danced together after signing this initiative. With protests raging across the country, America's governors are now asking protesters to get tested, fearing that there could be a resurgence of COVID-19. In a tweet, Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz has called on every demonstrator to in fact come forth voluntarily and get tested. New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo has also echoed this call.
We're at a protest. Go get a test, please. The protesters have a civic duty here also. Be responsible, get a test, go to the website, find out the testing site nearest you. We have 700 in this state. You can get a test, get a test.